Welcome back. We're with Eddy Mindlin. He's a sales professional coach extraordinaire with brilliant insights for salespeople. This segment is about the psychology of sales. Welcome to the program, Eddy.
Thank you.
Cold calling. Even the name is chilling. Talk to us a little bit about how you think about training and working with your clients to help them get comfortable with this idea.
Well, cold calling is an important part of sales, and a lot of people are scared of it. I happen to love it. I think it's fascinating.
Love that.
I love the psychology of sales, and I'm not scared to walk into any environment. A lot of people are, though. So what I do with my clients is I walk in with them, and I'm the icebreaker, and I will talk about things other than what I am selling, if it's me or if it's one of my clients. You just want to get to know the person sitting at the reception desk or the secretary and become friends with them a little bit. So you don't, it's literally not so cold, a cold call. And
right.
You're right, the word cold call is can be a scary word, but it's really not. So I try to make it fun for people that there's really nothing that they can do wrong. It's just the fact that they need to get used to doing it. And if they're not familiar with it or don't know how, I have a way of making it easy for people.
I've heard you talk a little bit about the power of body language and sort of everything matters. You're really, really tuned into details. We've talked about this offline. Talk a little bit about what you know about body language and how it might affect people when you're first building a relationship.
Well, again, people are not cognitively.
Say that fast 3 times.
People are not aware of.
Love it.
Okay, people are not aware that they're watching you, but they are watching you.
Right.
So they're aware of your eye movement, whether you're looking at their eyes or whether you're moving your hands a lot and that type of thing. Right. If you appear to be nervous, those types of things. So it's really an important thing how much you're moving, and you need to be aware, meaning you, the salesperson, needs to be aware of their own body movements and their own psychology, and then also pay attention to what the other person's doing. And I love that part of sales because I'm able to pick up on the other person's psychology very quickly, which I think is very important, to be perceptive, which I'm very perceptive, and I think that helps me a lot. And even if people aren't naturally very perceptive, it's a learned skill. Okay. And I can teach people to watch the person they're talking to and see whether they're smiling or if they seem fidgety. But it's important for us to know about our own psychology as well as the person we're talking to.
You've talked about the power and sort of documenting, and I bet this is part of how they help to learn how to retrain themselves to sort of look at a scenario differently around psychology. Taking notes, really taking detailed notes. You told me a story about one client who actually thought it was weird to take notes and sit in the car after the appointment. Tell us a little bit about that, the importance of taking notes.
Yeah, taking notes is important for many reasons. Number one, when you go in to talk to a client and you sit down and you say the words something like, tell me a little bit about your business, and you get your pad of paper out and your pen, that person knows that you're serious about them and you're actually writing down things they say, which is pretty fascinating because most people don't do that. So number one, you're taking notes and you're going to remember those things and you're going to keep all that information. Also, when you're finished with talking to the client and you go out to your car, it's good to take the time to make other notes that you have thought about as well. Another thing that it also does is help you be a really good listener, because you're looking at your notepad and yes, you're looking at the person speaking to you. Your intent as the salesperson is not to talk, is not to respond, is you are being a great listener with the intent to literally hear everything that person says and write those things down and not to interrupt that person, which is a tendency most salespeople and most people have as they interrupt because they're thinking about what they're going to say next. So I have learned, and it's been a lot of work on my part, I have learned to just sit there and listen. And when the person stops talking, I even give them a few more seconds because people need time to get their thoughts and you want to get as much information out as you can. So listening and taking notes is very powerful, and it helps build the relationship, which is what selling is all about.
And this is something I just wanted to throw out at you, the idea of not taking yourself too seriously and keep your sense of humor. This is really a people business and you want to have fun, right?
There's no question. You've got to have fun with it. You've got to make it lighthearted. And that's why walking in and meeting someone, especially the first time, is talking about anything other than what you're there to sell.
Right.
So you see a picture on the wall of their family or an animal or anything like that, a trophy. You see that they play golf, a picture of their kids, anything. Just say, oh, that's a nice picture. And you can just say it just like that, and they will expand on that. Or tell me about that picture. That's really an interesting picture. It can be anything. And then they get talking. And again, it's what salespeople need to learn is that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. If we can use them proportionately, we will be a better salesperson if we can really be a good listener, because most salespeople do talk too much.
It's a pleasure to listen to you. Eddy Mindlin, thank you for your insights on psychology of sales and building a business around the sales for the sales professional. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.